Blu-ray collection part 4. Ahoy everybody, I'm back to part 4 of a look at my Blu-ray collection. I'm only doing my blurb at the start of the odd number bits because I'm recording a load of these together, so I'm just going to get straight into it. And next up we have The Danish Girl, starring Eddie Redmayne and Alicia Vikander. Basically the story of the first person who went through through realignment surgery, I believe is correct terminology for it. Yeah, really good film. Excellent performances. Highly recommended. This is War and Peace for BBC. Do they call them mini-series anymore? I don't know if they do, but I will. BBC mini-series from a couple of years ago. 2015. God, time flies. When this was on, I didn't watch it because it was just on a night where I think it would have been the only thing on that night and I couldn't be asked to watch it, basically. But I knew I wanted to see it, so as soon as it came out on Blu-ray, I got it, more or less. Really strong cast, telling the story of War and Peace, which is all set around the Russian Revolution, basically, if you're not familiar. Paul Dano, Lily James, James Norton, Adrian Edmondson, Jim Broadbent, Gillian Anderson, Stephen Rea, Brian Cox, Kenneth Cranham, Ken Stott, Jessie Buckley, Anuryn Barner, Tom Burke, Rebecca Front, Aisling Loftus, Tuppence Middleton, which is a big reason why I wanted it, Greta Scacchi. Just really strong cast, really good production. Red Dwarf Series 11. So I had all the original Red Dwarf VHSs, then all the DVDs I've unboxed on here. I've not started watching it because I've got a huge backlog of Blu-rays and DVDs I am slowly getting through. But the recent BBC box set of series 1 to 8 now on Blu-ray. And then I've picked up the new series, the Dave series, if you like. Back to Earth was before I got a Blu-ray player, so I've got that on DVD. But then 10, 11 and 12, I think that's right, isn't it? I have on Blu-ray. This is 11. I much prefer the earlier series, but they're still a lot of fun, and it's just a joy watching those 4 people acting together, having fun together. And yeah, they still make me laugh. Onto some Arrow releases again. Shown many already in previous parts. This is Life Force, quite a notorious film. It was originally called, it's based on a novel called The Space Vampires, and it's basically I'll read the blurb. When a space shuttle crew finds a mysterious spacecraft containing 3 human-looking creatures in a state of suspended animation, they bring them back to Earth for further investigation. It's only then that they discover a race of space vampires that feed off people's life force rather than their blood. And they escape and they run amok. And the main one is, I'll remember her name in a minute, or I'll read it, one of the two. Matilda May, who spends most of the film with no clothes on. Patrick Stewart's in it, Peter Furr, Frank Finlay, Nicholas Ball. It's cheesy but a lot of fun, and this is as I always say with Arrow, it's an excellent release of it. Another Arrow, this is Big Trouble in Little China. Saw this in the cinema when it came out. I'm not one of these John Carpenter super nerds who watch all his stuff, but the bits I have seen I've always enjoyed. This is probably my favourite of the ones I've seen. Lots of fun. Kurt Russell is excellent as Jack Burton. Kim Cattrall looks great in it. It's just a really good film. This is Elamont This is I'm trying to remember which country this is from. The actual film is French. It's definitely European, but I can't remember where from. I'm trying to. No, don't think it's a French release. I think it's Dutch or Belgian or something like that. This is the film The Lover, basically, which was notorious at the time because Jane March, very young when she made it, spent most of the film naked. There's a lot of, the sinner from Pinner, I think they called her in the tabloids. A lot of fuss about it, but it is a beautiful film. I picked up a French release because I'm not entirely certain it is or I say French release, whatever release it is. I'm not entirely certain it's available over here anyway. But if it is, I know I had it on DVD and that didn't have any extras. So I can't remember if it is available on Blu-ray. If it is available on Blu-ray, it didn't have the extras anyway. But this has got really good 52-minute making of on it, which is very interesting about the casting process and everything. This is The Great Gatsby. I mainly got this because Carey Mulligan's in it. It was an enjoyable film. It looks great. It's perfectly watchable. It didn't wow me. Batman Begins. Mentioned on previous videos, I'm a big Batman fan. I've never loved this film. There's not enough Batman in it, basically, for me. But it is an excellent film. And it's led to two really excellent films. Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog. So, Joss Whedon, creator of Buffy and Angel and Firefly and Dollhouse, director of Avengers, and various other bits. There was a writer's strike, so he wasn't allowed to make any TV, basically. So he decided he'd have some fun with his mates, basically, and they made some internet short films, and it's a musical. Neil Patrick Harris plays Dr. Horrible, a budding supervillain, and he's in love with Penny, played by Felicia Day, but Captain Hammer's trying to stop him, played by Nathan Fillion. It's just a lot of fun. It's funny, the songs are good, the acting's brilliant, loads of extras on this. If you like Buffy, Angel, that sort of stuff, and you haven't seen Dr. Horrible, do. Another Arrow release. This is Phantom of the Paradise. It's Brian De Palma's film from 70 something. 74. So this was before. He's Hitchcockian films. I'm going to say it's before them. He might have done one or two. I'm not entirely sure on the chronology. But anyway, this is a musical of sorts. It's very strange, very peculiar. It's Phantom of the Opera, but set around rock music. Is a brief way of describing it. I mainly got this because I'm a Brian De Palma fan. I enjoyed it a lot. The songs are really good. Yeah, it's the film. Okay, this is Lovelace. So this is about the story of Linda Lovelace, the porn star most famous for the Deep Throat film, which was sort of a big first blockbuster porn film in the 70s. Nice, not sure what they call that effect on the cover. It's not lenticular. It's got the whatever that is on it. Amanda Seyfried plays Linda Lovelace, and it's the story of her rise to and fall from fame. Really good film. Not the Messiah, He's a Very Naughty Boy, by Monty Python, sort of ish. So after the success of Spamalot, which was based on Holy Grail, Eric Idle wanted to write a musical based on Life of Brian, but he couldn't quite get a proper musical to work. So he just turned it into a... How do they describe it on here? They don't. Okay. It's sort of... I'm not sure if oratorio would be the right word. I just splashed beer all over me. But basically it's an orchestra and people come on and sing their bits rather than it being acted out properly. So it's got Eric, Michael and the two Terrys. I'm recording this about a week after Terry Jones died. Broke my heart. I did have the pleasure of meeting Terry Jones at Collectomania a few years ago. Just a really lovely bloke, as well as being a genius. So yes, that was very sad. You know, with his illness, we knew it was coming, but it was still very sad when it happened. Thank you, Terry. But yes, anyway, back to this. So yeah, it's a telling of Life of Brian through music with an orchestra at the Royal Albert Hall. I didn't love it, to be honest, much as Python is my thing. It sort of bored me, really, I'm afraid, to be honest. This is Gravity, another one with a Flash cover. Won many awards, pretty much, although George Clooney is in it as well. Pretty much a solo work by Sandra Bullock. Really amazing work. I really enjoyed it all, both visually and story wise. Showed Pixar, a couple in an earlier version. This is Monsters University. Not as good as Monsters Inc., but a lot of fun. The first, well, Python I suppose, but first certainly stand-up comedy Blu-ray I'm showing in these videos. This is Michael McIntyre's Showtime. I like Michael McIntyre. I've got a bit bored of him, really. He's very good at what he does, but his stuff is a bit safe for me. It's that, observational everyman comedy that he does, as I say, he does very well, but I don't know how to say this. I was going to say it's not skillful enough for me, but he is a very skillful performer and he does that material very, as I say, very well, and certainly better than a lot of other comedians would do it. But it's not a style of comedy that I completely, I was going to say appreciate, that's not really the word, admire. Let's put it that way. So I hope this makes sense. I sort of admire how he does his material, and I think he is funny. He's got funny bones, but I think the style of comedy he chooses to do is easy. I hope that makes sense. This is Sherlock Series 3 Special Edition. So almost immediately after Series 3 ended, a Blu-ray was released with just the shows on them. Then, I think around Christmas, unsurprisingly, this was released. It's got the special features on it for Series 3. So it's got the Many Happy Returns prequel, audio commentaries on them, making ofs, various other bits, interviews, deleted scenes, outtakes, stuff like that. For Series 3 of Sherlock, I just absolutely love Sherlock. So as I say, I do like him, because here we have Happy and Glorious, live at the O2 Arena. I say after those two, I just stopped getting his stuff. I also am not... The only comedy I've ever seen at the O2 is Python, because A, it was the only option to see it. B, it was Python, you know. And C, it was a proper show. It wasn't just them talking, which obviously Malcolm McIntyre is and Peter Kay is and what have you. And I don't think arenas are the right place for comedy. So even on Blu-ray and DVD, where obviously you are close up and it's all cleverly edited and sound synced and what have you, I do think you still lose a bit of the atmosphere. But enough. As I say, I do like Michael McIntyre. I have grown a bit bored of his shtick, if you like. But I admire him. You know, I'm not dissing Michael McIntyre. I'm just saying I'm not a huge fan. If you like Michael McIntyre, don't get offended. Don't start bashing me, because my tastes aren't entirely the same as yours. As I say, I like him enough to have bought those. This is McBusty's Most Excellent Adventure Tour live at the O2. So this was the first McBusted tour. I saw them on the second tour. A big fan of McFly. I liked Busted anyway. They're just excellent live performers, basically. Another music one. This is Kylie's Kiss Me Once. Excuse me. Kylie's Kiss Me Once tour live in Glasgow. Saw this tour at the O2 in London. This has got Blu-ray of it, plus the show over 2 CDs in here as well. Not her best tour. Visually it was very good, and you know, performance-wise it was great. It's just that the Kiss Me Once album is probably our weakest album of the last, quite possibly actually, since her Stockhagen and Waterman days. In my opinion, anyway. There was some good bits on it, but it didn't lend itself to being the bulk of a concert show. Still very good. Getting scared of offending anybody now. Oh, time is ticking on. I will just show this one, and then we'll stop this part. This is Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Love the Planet of the Apes films. I showed the Planet of the Apes box set I had, which had first Rise. Was it the first one? Yeah, Rise of the Planet of the Apes. I then subsequently got Dawn and War, which we will see at some point. But yeah, they're just really good. Okay, so that's it for this part. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Sorry if I've offended you or your tastes, but we're all different. That's the joy of life. Yeah, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. See you in another video. Thanks. Bye.